Ancient Japan is ravaged by so many of the fires of war that most places to go are debris of ruin and lifelessness. One pregnant and malnourished woman walks by these ruins, barely hanging on to life, grasping at her stomach. One night, she goes into labor while in the ruin of a Buddhist temple, and she delivers the baby with no other person in sight. As the baby puts on his first cries, the sound of them attracts a beast, and the woman grabs an axe to be ready and protect her and her son. A dog charges at her, and she manages to make it flee. She then looks at her crying baby with a warm smile and feeds him milk, with the accompanying promise of always protecting him. In the days later, the woman's hunger grows stronger within her. She is so hungry that as she sees the bony carcass of a man, she munches over its leftover flesh. As her hunger grows even stronger, she is even tempted to eat her own son. She throws her baby into a fire, and as the baby cries in pain, the mother comes to her senses, grabs her son out of the fire, and runs into the stormy rain. 8 years later, the baby is now a little boy in ravaged rags for clothes, holding an axe as he walks through the land. Meanwhile, a poor, starving family was using their last remaining food. Suddenly, the boy goes into that house at lightning speed until blood can be seen everywhere, including his mouth with sharp canines. On one rainy day, the boy spots an old monk crossing a bridge, and he ambushes him, ready to attack. The man of faith walks past him like there is nothing to worry about, continuing his prayer as he does so. The boy attacks, but he is no match for the monk, who just continues his sutra. As the boy tries to get his weapon back from under the man's feet, the monk sees just by looking at the boy that he has eaten people and that he wants to eat him now. The beastly boy bites his shoulder, but the monk manages to pull him off. As the boy continues trying to get to his meal, the monk sees the potential of a heart in him, and so he finishes the fight with a final throw. The beast boy wakes up in a cave and sees that the monk is also there, cooking food. He offers the child soup, and the boy munches at the bowl as if it were life itself. The monk understands that the boy only eats others so he can survive and offers another bowl to him. However, he puts it out of reach, only offering it if the boy says the sutra, Namu Amida Butsu. The boy says it with much effort, as if it were his first time saying anything, so the monk praises him for his attempt and gives him the bowl as promised. As the boy eats, the monk gives him the name Asura. The next day, the monk continues his walk, chanting sutras. He knows the boy is following him from a distance, and he chants his prayer in the hopes that it reaches the boy's heart. Somewhere in an agricultural environment, children and one adult man, Shio, are pushing a log with ropes, and one of the boys collapses. The weak boy is reprimanded by their superior, which makes Shio make excuses for the boy. Suddenly, Asura comes in with the speed of a beast in the direction of the fallen boy. Before he can get to the boy, the man kicks him. However, the beast boy does not give up and attacks the bird, trying to snatch the boy and slaying it by the neck. However, he still wants to eat the boy, only for Shio to distract him with rice that he tosses in the distance. The gang continues to drag the log along the way, and they see in horror that the beast boy is still following them, patiently biding his time for a chance to get to their unconscious friend. However, they have other challenges as children in their way throw rocks at them, seeing that they have gone into their territory. Shio pleads that they are let through since they need the food money that comes with their job. However, the kids do not care for their plight, and they throw rocks at them even more. One rock is thrown in Asura's direction, making the beast boy's head bleed. He takes offense to this and charges at the leader of the pack, biting his neck so violently that he lies down and is bleeding. The news reaches the father of the boy, who just so happens to be the lord of the land, Jitu. Reaching his fallen son by horseback, the angry Lord Jitu asks who has done the deed. He sees Asura and goes after him by horse, ruining many crops throughout the chase. Asura gets away after climbing a hilltop, and he rests as he looks upon the sky. However, the angry lord finds him, and instead of running, the boy charges at the man, even being able to bite at his neck. He manages to evade the lord's spear attacks, but is led to the edge of a cliff. After many attempts by the lord to hit him, the footing under Asura collapses, sending the boy to a fall. The boy happens to fall on a pile of human corpses, saving his life. He struggles to grab onto life and eats the animals on his way up. But those who fight back give him even more wounds and send him falling further into the ground. The next day, a woman is washing by the river when she notices that there is a trail of blood in the water. She follows the trail and sees the unconscious Asura. She goes to the boy and carries him. The boy has a vague nightmare of being burned by his mother as a baby. He screams, and he finds that the woman is treating her wounded leg with a heated iron. The woman manages to calm him down and treat his wounds. She shows him warmth and offers him rice. As the boy eats, he speaks the word Asura, so the woman decides that she will call him that from now on. She leaves the storage unit, but not before also leaving the boy with a bowl of water. Later on, the woman goes back with more food and water, but the beast boy is not trusting, and he speaks Namu Amida Butsu as he avoids her. The woman is amazed that he can chant sutras, and as the boy eventually eats the food, she introduces herself as Wakasa. Asura spends time in the storage unit for so long that the season turns into winter snow. Even still, all these times Wakasa continues to visit the boy with food, and they have a good relationship of shared companionship and laughter. As the season goes on to the next, Wakasa continues setting up crops, all in the eyes of Asura, in hiding distance. He falls asleep on his watch, and Wakasa picks her up and carries her on her back as she walks. As she sees people walking toward her, the woman hides behind the trees so that the beast boy will not be found. While the woman worries, Asura is peacefully sleeping on her back. On another day, after a long day of working the crops, Wakasa treks into the forest to walk home, only for Asura to find her. The woman gives him her time, and they spend it lying on the ground in a hidden part of the forest, looking at the beautiful sunset. Asura is so at peace with her that the boy falls asleep by her side. Later on, Wakasa bathes by the river in front of the boy, and the boy stares at her figure. He feels so awkward by this that he falls into the water. Later on, they go to the hilltop and look at the beautiful view of the crops and villages. Wakasa believes that there is a city just beyond their sight, and she tells the boy of her dream of going there someday with an unnamed person she loves. Later, as the boy plays alone, he thinks of what Wakasa told him, and he wants to go to the city too. Later at night, Wakasa is in her house and sees Asura going near outside. She goes outside, without the knowledge of her father, to near the boy to tell him gently that he needs to disappear, something that the boy follows, albeit reluctantly. In the next few days, Wakasa continues her chores under the hidden watch of Asura. More days go by, and the woman still senses the lad's presence from a distance. This is despite the danger of being spotted by people, which the boy always makes an effort to stay out of sight of. One day, as Asura wakes up from the storage unit, he finds that there is food and water by the door. He looks through the door and sees Wakasa, who left it there. This makes the boy so happy that he is on the verge of tears. Later on, Asura catches fish by a river and sees Wakasa walking in the forest. He goes near the lady, who shows the boy that she is gathering mushrooms. While the woman tells him all the ways she can cook mushrooms, Asura is more focused on the blade she has in her basket, which is making him agitated. He sneakily steals the blade away, making the woman ask that he be careful with it. As Wakasa approaches the boy and tries to get it back, she tells him that she no longer wants him to have to hurt anyone anymore. Asura sees how sad Wakasa looks, and he lets go of the blade. The woman is so happy that she hugs him and tells him how proud she is. They head back to the storage unit, where Wakasa cooks him a bowl of mushroom soup. The woman looks out the window and leaves the boy with the advice not to eat the pot of soup all at once. Asura looks out the window to see her leaving, and he is disappointed to see that Shio is meeting up with her. As the harsh rain falls, Asura is in deep thought about what he saw and leaves the unit. He climbs up a tree to look for Wakasa, and he is glad that he spots her trekking through the rain after a while. He goes back to the storage unit, thinking that the woman is there, only to be disappointed after seeing no one. Elsewhere, Wakasa goes to a hut, looking to see if someone has spotted her, before going inside. It turns out that she is spending time with Shio, and they kiss after missing each other for so long. As the two lie on hay, they talk about their futures, and they plan on running away to the city together. Suddenly, the door opens, and it is Asura with his signature axe. Enraged at seeing the man, he attacks Shio, wounding his shoulder. Wakasa is so angry over what he has done that he calls Asura a demon, saddening the boy. He tells the boy they are no longer friends and tells him to get out. Asura is lost for words at this, and walks through the rainy forest with his head held down, unable to get out of the thought that he is a demon. After being deep in thought, he becomes so angry that he screams and chops down everything in his path, intentionally leading uncontrollable waters to flood everything downstream and ruining the crops and towns. With so much destruction, the environment becomes dry and next to lifeless. Asura spots a mother monkey taking care of her child with such love that he becomes enraged. He goes after the family with violent swings of his axe. They fight back, but the beast boy manages to tackle the child. As he grabs onto the monkey tightly, he tells it that he hates the animal for having someone to love and that he wishes he was never born. As he wails in pain, the old monk from before happens to be passing by to see his plight. He congratulates the boy for being a human who is able to form words now. However, the boy insists that he is a beast. The monk tells him to chant more sutras to fix that, but the boy is not having it. He tells the old man that people are just beasts who will go after each other if there is nothing to eat, even if it means devouring their own children. He grabs his axe and attacks the monk in an attempt to eat him. However, the old man only needs to push him away to stop him. He tells the troubled boy that while everyone has a beastly nature in their hearts, what distinguishes humans and the boy from others is that he has a heart. His words resonate with Asura for a moment, only to reject the notion a second later, saying he is merely a beast with no choice but to eat. The monk does not believe the boy really means what he is saying, and so he takes the axe and chops off his own left arm without any hesitation. He offers the boy his dismembered arm, but the boy is hesitant to eat it. The monk says that no one wants to eat human flesh, including himself, because people are creatures of reason. But in times of trouble, that reason should get out the window. They should be ready to fight off their beastly nature. Telling the boy to hate the beast within and not himself makes the boy run away. The old monk sees his pain and cries for the lad. As the land grows more dry, Wakasa and her father become more and more scarce of food. Her father, Gisuke, is approached by a man who tells him that he knows people he can sell his daughter to for a high price, and he wants to know if he has the go signal. The old father is so insulted by his offer that he threatens to hurt him if he does not leave. As Wakasa and Shio meet up, the man gives her the bare minimum of food, making the man ashamed that he cannot do more. However, the woman tells him it is all right, and the couple hug. The food shortage is so bad that the villagers are starting to attack each other. Wakasa goes around her neighbors to ask for spare food, but everywhere she goes, none have anything to give. It becomes so bad that Wakasa's father is sick and needs to be taken care of by her. One day, Shio sneaks into Wakasa's house to take a peek inside and sees that his woman is suffering from malnutrition. He goes to the rations to get food, but is caught by the children he works with and lives with. He pleads to be forgiven since Wakasa needs it to survive. However, the children take offense that he chose a girl over their survival, and they attack him. While Wakasa is walking, she spots a lizard nearby, and she is so desperate for food that she tries to catch the thing, but to no avail. As she rests on her efforts, Asura looks at her from a distance and leaves. Later at night, the beast boy sneaks into the Lord of the Land's stable and drops down to chop flesh from a horse, and then runs away into the dark. Because of this, Lord Jitu finds out that Asura is alive and orders his men to gather everyone from the village for his plan of hunting the boy down. Meanwhile, at Wakasa's household, she and her father are so weak that all they can do is lie on the ground. The father, Gisuke, is so hungry that he tells his daughter that he regrets not selling her before she becomes too weak for it, although she also tells her that it is her choice if she still wants to do it. Suddenly, a neighbor comes to tell them that Lord Jitu is calling for everyone. At the town meeting, the Lord of the Land tells everyone that whoever finds and slays the beast boy will get a year's worth of rice. The prospect is so tempting that an angry mob complete with torches is instantly formed, and they immediately try to find the boy, all with bloodthirsty eyes. At Wakasa's house, Gisuke readies his blade and opens the door, ready to find Asura. However, the moment he opens, Asura is there and goes in to offer Wakasa a bowl of meat. The meat tempts the lady. However, she comes to her senses and drops it. She tells the boy that he should not have ended someone's life for the meat. While the boy insists that it is horse meat, the woman refuses to hear him out. Gisuke does not care that it is possibly human flesh and intends to eat it. Before he does, Asura chops the meat in two and offers one piece to the father, which he gladly receives. However, Wakasa slaps it off his hands, Regardless, Gisuke eats it off the floor. The daughter is disappointed in her father and tells him that eating human flesh means he has damned himself. Asura offers the meat to Wakasa again, and despite telling the woman she needs to survive, she still refuses. The young boy hopes that his gesture means they can go back to how they used to be. However, the woman tells her that those days have ended, upsetting the boy. Asura insists that what he has in his hand is horse meat, but the lady does not believe him. The beast boy gets angry and screams. Meanwhile, Gisuke has turned out to have lured the angry mob to his home. Inside, Asura is forcing the meat on Wakasa, but the lady resists. She tells him that if she eats the meat, she will not be able to forgive herself. The boy is in tears, pleading for the woman to try and live. The beast boy goes outside and fights the angry mob to escape. Despite Lord Jitu's efforts to spear him, the boy manages to do so. The angry mob chases after him. As they split up, Asura eliminates some of them, causing their torches to spread through the grass and crops. The chase continues on, spreading more fire in the surrounding area. The chase boils down to just Lord Jitu, and the boy manages to bite his shoulder. The Lord is determined to go on fighting, but his wound is so severe that he falls to the ground. However, it is not over yet, as the angry mob continues their bloodlust. In desperation to escape, Asura goes to the barely put-together wooden bridge hanging between two cliffs. In the middle of his crossing, his footing cracks under him, and he almost falls. As the townfolk spot him, he becomes more desperate to cross, but his running only makes the bridge break even more. The beast boy stops, seeing that there are even more men with torches on the other side. They set the bridge on fire from both sides, leaving the beast boy trapped. Despite this, Asura tries everything in his power to outrun the flames. However, the bridge eventually breaks, and the boy falls to a long height. The mob rejoices, all while their land is engorged in fire. A time later, the winter snow comes as Shio and the children pull the cart, holding Wakasa's lifeless body. The man spots a person passing by, and as he gets near, it is clear that it is Asura. The beast boy walks by the cart with silence and tears in his eyes as he continues walking. Years go by, and there is a young man crafting a wooden idol with his hands, one of many from the pile. Looking closely, it is Asura, older as a monk, and instead of dirty rags, he has clean monk robes. As time heals, eventually Japan grows beautiful and fruitful once more.